Good afternoon. Welcome to FirstNet here this afternoon. It's a very exciting day for all of us, and we appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here. It's an exciting day at our headquarters here in Reston, Virginia. We appreciate everybody online who's also watching today. We're very proud and honored to have Governor Terry McAuliffe here with us today, as well as Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security, Brian Moran, and many members of Virginia's public safety community. As you all know, FirstNet's mission is to build, maintain, and operate the first nationwide public safety broadband network. For more than 3 years, FirstNet has worked consulting, discussing, working very closely and listening to public safety across the country. And we have been taking everything that public safety has asked for in a network and working very diligently to make that happen. This year, that became a reality, and with our FirstNet state plans going out a few weeks ago, we've been able to share the great results of all of that hard work and all of that collaboration and consultation with public safety across this country. It's very exciting to see this network coming to fruition, and exciting to be here with Governor McAuliffe, Secretary Moran, and an exciting team from FirstNet as well as from public safety to mark the first state opting into FirstNet. Very glad to have Deputy Secretary Curtis Brown, Chief Charles Warner, Dr. Jeff Stern, and Chief Richard Bowers, who have been working very hard on the Virginia team to make this a reality. I would also like to recognize the Virginia State Point of Contact, Tom Gagnon, for all of his hard work in leading the Virginia team's efforts to get to this point, and to be a real key point for all of the public safety officials across the state of Virginia to work closely to make this happen. One of the most important things is this is a network that has been asked for by public safety. It has been designed by public safety, and it's being built for public safety. And what's terrific about it is it will be available starting this week here in the state of Virginia, and it's a very exciting time to see this network come to fruition, and I'm very glad to be a part of it with all of you here today. With that, I would really like to thank the relentless dedication of all first responders, and certainly the first responders across the Commonwealth of Virginia, and want to recognize and introduce today Secretary Moran to say a few words. Thank you.
TJ, thank you very much. Your comments with respect to hard work, consultation cannot be underscored enough. This has indeed been a lot of work by a lot of people, many of whom are in the crowd today, and so I just want to thank you all very, very much. A couple that were mentioned by TJ deserve additional recognition. Of course, our SPARC, our state, I didn't even know what a SPARC was when this started, but our state point of contact, Thomas Gagnon, and Chief Charles Werner have done yeoman's work on this job, so I do want to applaud them particularly. And we are joined, we're in Fairfax County, and you all should be, feel very safe. We have every chief imaginable here today. I do want to recognize Sheriff Stacy Kincaid is here as well. So Stacy, thank you. I'm not going to recognize all of the chiefs because they're all here and you need to hear from our governor. But we also are joined by a local delegate from the Virginia House of Delegates. Jennifer Boysko is here somewhere as well. Jennifer, there you are. Good. Well, indeed, this has been a lot of work. One of the first meetings I took after the governor was so kind to appoint me to this position was a meeting to discuss FirstNet. And we have been discussing and debating and discussing and debating some more ever since that first meeting in January of 2014. So this day has finally come. I mean, this is exciting. This is exciting. For those of us who resided or worked in Northern Virginia during 9/11, which includes myself, I was in Old Town Alexandria, short distance from the Pentagon, and I was actually waiting for a court case at the local courthouse, and the phone went dead. And of course, when I started hearing the news, I immediately tried to call my wife, and I was unable to do so, and I felt completely helpless. And so as we have discussed this issue over the last several years, I mean, to think that some first responder who was responding to an emergency crisis would be left helpless with no communication is just absolutely unacceptable. Congress recognized that. with the FirstNet legislation, and that's why we are all here today to make this very exciting announcement. And the individual who is going to be making that very exciting announcement is somebody all about excitement. He lives his life 24/7. When he says sleep is for when you die, he means it literally. He is a first, of course. This is Commonwealth being the first, and it is right within the governor's wheelhouse. He is the most traveled governor of all. Just completed his 29th overseas trip, and of course he went on that trip with our Secretary of Commerce, who was here, Todd Haymore, somewhere. It was Todd. Thank you for being here as well. Well, he's making another deal in the hallway. And all of that work overseas and making sure we create more jobs in Virginia. And those are 21st century jobs, like the FirstNet jobs in AT&T that are located here, 180 jobs right here in Reston. Those are 21st century jobs. And because of his work, we have reduced unemployment from 5.4% when the governor took office to today 3.8%, the second lowest of any large state in the nation, the United States. Created over 200,000 jobs, over $16.2 billion worth of investment brought to the Commonwealth of Virginia. So he has been taking the lead on every economic indicator that we want to be leading the Commonwealth and leading this nation. So he has done a tremendous job around job growth, economic activity and development, and certainly public safety. So this is the terrific combination of public safety and economic development right here today. So this is a very exciting announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, to make that very exciting announcement is our 72nd Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe.
Thank you, everybody. Sit down, relax. Thank you. What an honor to be with you today. I want to thank TJ, Mike. I want to thank everybody from FirstNet. I also want to thank Secretary Moran and his whole team. This has been a 3-year quest of meetings and negotiations. I want to thank my Interoperability Commission that got together. I most importantly want to thank everybody in this room who's helped us get to this point today. You know, Brian went through the numbers. We have had a great success in job creation and economic development here in Virginia. I just announced that our unemployment claims hit a 44-year low. A lot of new jobs, a lot of new investment. That would not happen if our communities were not safe. As governor, my biggest responsibility, bigger than job creation, is to ensure that our citizenry are all safe. And I want to thank every man and women who put on that uniform every single day to keep our Commonwealth safe. And we have a good representation here. If we could give all of them a great round of applause for they do what they do because they love it, and they love protecting their fellow citizens, and I cannot thank them enough. As the Secretary mentioned, this whole idea was born out of the 9/11 Commission that talked about what we needed to do. We all know what happened on 9/11, but we also know, as we know firsthand, many of the folks here responded to the Pentagon. Many of the folks here will tell you their stories, that they had no ability to talk to their fellow first responder, because what happens in a crisis or a calamity, everybody gets on the phone, they want to check where their loved ones are, and the phone lines just literally get clogged up and we can't get through. That is treacherous to everybody, but really treacherous to the first responders who were in those buildings trying to save lives. It is totally unacceptable that a nation like ours would put those first responders in harm's way. And that is why we are here today. And that is the problem that we are solving today. And I am proud that Virginia is the first state in the United States of America to opt in and declare that we are now part of FirstNet here. So what I like to say now is we will have the safest state because we are now protecting. You cannot ask men and women to put on that uniform, to put their lives on the line, and not give them the tools they need to keep themselves safe. And so today, we're giving all those first responders the tools they need to be safe. And I will say, as chairman of the National Governors Association, I do hope that my fellow governors take heed, because it was unacceptable for me to know that as soon as I sign this paper, that all of my first responders who have AT&T will immediately have access and a dedicated line in case of something would happen. So leaving here today, if something were to happen, I now in my conscience know that we have done everything we possibly can to keep our first responders safe. So, you know, Virginia is always the first in everything. I mean, that's who we are. I remind you, in 1607, when those 3 ships came to America, the Constant, the Discovery, and the Godspeed, they didn't stop in Pennsylvania. They didn't go to New York. You know, in Massachusetts, they talk about this little rock thing. What is that thing? Plymouth, some rock. Folks, that was 1620. We were 1607. We are the beginning of democracy in this great nation, and this is one more evolution of why we are the best of the best. You live in the greatest state and the greatest nation on earth, and today we made our state a little bit safer, which is important, and that is our responsibility as elected officials. So it's an honor to be here today. It's an honor to sign this paperwork here, and now I'd like to bring up Mike Poth, talk a little bit more about exactly what we're going to do.
Thank you very much. I insisted that I follow the governor. Really? It's like, well, thank you, and thank everyone for coming. Thank you, Governor, Secretary Moran, for your vote of confidence. This is a monumental day for Virginia and for everyone within the FirstNet network and the family. This is just the beginning of where we need to head, and the state taking a bold stand and putting that flag in the ground is a huge indication of their commitment to public safety, to the first responders in the Commonwealth, and we are very appreciative. It opens up a door to a partnership so allow FirstNet and AT&T to begin work in Virginia to do what we set out to do and what we're committed to do. And we can now begin to provide, as the governor mentioned, priority services to the Commonwealth and to the first responders. The governor understands that the men and women out there in the front lines protecting us every day are confronted with many different challenges when they're trying to meet their mission. Emergency communications shouldn't be one of those challenges, and this is a big step to relieving some of that pressure. From the rural areas, from the Shenandoah Mountains to the coast, Virginia has a diverse landscape and diverse public safety communication needs. The Commonwealth's police officers, firefighters, and EMS providers everywhere need reliable communications and enabled to take them advantage of all the devices, apps, which is applications, and tools available today. And they need to be interoperable, not just at the local level, but also at the federal and military government responders that operate across the Commonwealth. And we look forward to working to meet the needs of the future federal and military operators that are working with the first responders in the Commonwealth to make this even a greater, safer state. We're pleased that we put forth a plan that met the needs of Virginia, and as Secretary Moran remarked, we counted up, there was over 90 meetings with the Commonwealth. They were very vigilant in their process, and we throw kudos to the entire Virginia team led by Secretary Moran and the SPOC and the governor. The outcome is to deploy a highly secure wireless network dedicated to public safety in every corner of the Commonwealth, and by joining FirstNet, Governor McAuliffe has ensured this network will be built at no cost to the Commonwealth and provide services over the next 25 years. So thank you again, Governor, for your confidence in our team. We're not going to let you down. And with that, I'd like to introduce another part of the team, Senior Vice President Chris Sambar with AT&T FirstNet.
Thank you, Mike. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today on behalf of AT&T. It was just a few short months ago that AT&T was awarded the privilege, and I emphasize the word privilege, of building out a public safety broadband network across America for our first responders. And we made a promise at that time that we were going to get this done quickly in conjunction with the FirstNet Authority. We were going to work quickly and build this network and have it ready for them as soon as possible. And obviously Virginia took us seriously when we said quickly, because they are here today announcing that they're going to be the first to opt in. They're going to give us a little kick in the butt and say, let's go. So we're ready. We are ready. So thank you, Governor. We appreciate that. You are building You are helping us build the foundation. You are the cornerstone of that foundation of the public safety broadband network across America. And I know you obviously feel very proud of it, and we're very proud too to be part of this. On a personal note, I spent many, many years in public service in the military, and I have a lot of people on our team at AT&T who have done the same or are absolutely dedicated to this mission. So please know that you can count on us. We're here to build something great for you, and we're going to make it perfect. This is all about first responders, so now I'm going to call up one of our first responders that we are building this for. He's got a career of nearly 40 years as a firefighter. He is the chief of the Fairfax County Fire and Rescue Department. And I happen to live in Fairfax County, so thank you for what you do, protecting my family, my neighbors, our property, our lives. We really appreciate it. So Chief Richard Bowers, please join me.
I'd like to also ask our Chief of Police, Chief Rosser, and Sheriff Kincaid, if you would join me here at the podium. Governor, I would honestly think that with the 3 ships that came in 1607, that you would have been the first one on the shore welcoming in the energetic way that you have today everybody here. So thank you very much for being here, and it's an honor and a privilege to represent all of public safety with my colleagues that are here today. I wouldn't be doing my job, nor would they, if we didn't first remind everybody, in the case of an emergency, please exit through the nearest exit that you can see that's lighted. So we wanted to make sure we did that formality, which is very, very important. I'd like to coin something that I really pulled together real quick, Governor, as you were speaking, because it was very evident to me, as always, you have your act together. So first in, all in, to opt in. That's Virginia. Well done, Governor. Well done. And please take credit for that. I want to thank Governor McAuliffe for his forward thinking and obviously leadership to put all of public safety first by being the very first governor to be all in, first in, opt in. Thank you, Governor. So today is a historic day for public safety as responders across the nation will be able to have access to a nationwide public safety broadband. And that network is being opened during emergent incidents when they are needed the most, as you've already heard. In the past, first responders were not able to communicate over the commercial wireless networks during significant incidents as the networks became congested and overwhelmed. As a responder to 9/11, along with many of my other colleagues that are here today, Chief Schwartz is here, and many others that are in uniform, we had that very problem. And you're absolutely right, Governor, and others that spoke, Secretary Moran, it did provide, if you will, no opportunity for us to communicate operationally or, if you will, with our loved ones. So for all of public safety responders, today begins a new journey for public safety and becomes one of the most significant transformational changes in public safety communications in decades. Transformational. That is huge. That does save lives and property. FirstNet will enhance services and save lives of our citizens and first responders. Saving lives of citizens and first responders. What a key point in all of today's information is being shared. For Fairfax County, along with my colleagues here, this will open the door to allow our responders to utilize AT&T services to a new level with priority, preemption, reliability, enhanced data capabilities, and communication redundancy. Fairfax will be able to use combined features of mission-critical data, enhanced push-to-talk, and integration of our public safety land mobile radio system to make our operations more effective for our community and its first responders. Thanks to the many women, and men who have had the vision for a public safety broadband network designed by public safety for public safety and have worked tirelessly for over a decade to make FirstNet a reality. I would now like to ask the governor and all others to please go to the table and let's do the official signing.